Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Civ Show Podcast, where we suck so you don't have to. I'm your host, Moisos.
Raising Zozo.
Nystagmus.
I think there's been some pretty crazy news today, right? There's like you know in the Civ world, there's been some pretty crazy news. A little Civ called Vietnam. Yeah, Vietnam. You guys excited about this? Did you see the first look video at all?
Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Isn't that the Viet Cong? I heard a little bird told me about Vietnam. It's actually a large elephant falling out of the woods. Could have been a jungle. Mentioned that this was on its way.
Whoa, what was the elephant's name? What was the elephant's name?
It was named like K Chen, I think. Let me see. What was his name? Voy Chen the elephant.
Oh,
you guys
okay.
know Voy Chen? I think he's Dumbo's third cousin or something like that.
Oh, I only know his fourth cousin. Sorry.
Something like that. And apparently gets the job done for an elephant. And it's always good when a new elephant is brought into the civilization universe. Because what do we have right now? Do we only have one? Does just India have an elephant?
No, we have Chimer has an elephant.
Chimer, I don't.
Oh no! Whoa! That war elephant is legit. Actually, no. The Varu is really good. The Varu is incredible.
Doesn't the Varu make everyone scared?
Yeah, it reduces all the adjacent enemies by 5. It's crazy. It's crazy good. You don't need that many of them. You just need like 1 or 2, and then the rest.
I wonder if that would stack with vampires. That'd be interesting. Now I want to find out. But anyways, this is totally unrelated. I know we're gonna find out. This elephant, it's probably a bit better than all those elephants because it's insanely powerful. But the whole Civ is pretty crazy.
Yeah. So before we get to that, we have a little bit of things we got to talk about before we get to Vietnam. It's gonna be a little bit later on in the episode. So let's first talk about Sunday. What happened on Sunday? It was kind of like a disaster of a game, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know. You guys were kind of like saying that, but I thought the worst part of the game was just that we didn't have city states.
That's part of the disaster, right? I mean,
no, but I don't think like us all being Maui was all that disastrous, to be honest. I thought it was pretty funny that we all spawned in the exact same spot.
That was pretty funny. I will admit.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that was pretty funny. And just the city state thing got frustrating just because you use them to boost things, right? You help and to help with trade routes, to help with suzerain bonuses and stuff like that. So it just was a very anemic game, right? I think that's where the frustration. Yeah, I think that's where a lot of the frustration was at, just because like it was very anemic. It was, we weren't being able to get like the gold that we wanted to get usually, right? So
speaking of not getting gold, Zoe had a really rough time that game.
The whole game was depressing. It was fun to a point, and then it just got depressing. And a big part of it was math. The math is insane. With Moy's Defender of the Faith, with Moy's perfect like timing for that I declared war, and somehow the act of me doing it, he had time for a settler to build a city instead of me taking the settler instantly. So I didn't even get that city. And then the stacking math between the heroes and Defender of the Faith, and it was this pointless, long drawn out battle. Moy did not want peace. Attacking Moy was pointless. He couldn't attack me either, because the minute he went one space away from his precious little Defender of the Faith, it crashed and burned, and his units were vulnerable. So it was this silly stalemate, but like he still had trade with Nystagmus, so I had no trade except for my own city. So the only reason I even survived was because
why couldn't you trade with me?
So our cities were just far away enough that I couldn't trade with you.
Did you have a harbor?
in the end, my one city, when I built a harbor, was able to trade with one of your cities.
So you know how I know that's like full of crap, right? It's because I was
would
trading
be
with your
glad
cities,
if we,
and
well, I wouldn't be
and your
glad.
trade
I know what I saw in
your
Nystagmus.
trade radius
No, I don't buy it. I know what I saw in Nystagmus. I kept moving my trade. I moved them all to you on one side. I moved them all on the other side. I could not trade with you. I could not
Did you even know where his cities
I
were?
could reach one city. I could reach one city.
and you trade to that city, and then when it sets up a
And
trading
it was
post, you
10
can
gold.
extend your trade radius.
6 gold more than I was making with my other cities.
Okay,
It doesn't
so I'm
matter.
sorry.
It doesn't
So it's
matter.
not my fault that my cities are crappier than your cities. That's not anyone's fault.
It doesn't matter. It was a boring game for me. Nystagmus refused to talk to anybody, so it's just me having to talk with Moy. And when you're at war with Moy, and he's got math on his side, he's only a little nickering witch. Um, so
I was hoping you guys would just bash each other's heads in, basically.
The mistake that I made was I should have when Moy refused to have peace with me. The minute that happened, I should have declared war on Nystagmus because my units could actually do something against him. And that I think would have been interesting for me. I waited way too long. It wasn't until I think like 10:30,
half hour, yeah.
The last half hour that I declared war on Nystagmus, and I was just like, your guys trading with each other was bolstering Moy. So basically, you were bolstering my enemy, allowing him to advance. I couldn't do anything, like nothing.
So
all of my units could do 8 damage to him. All of his units were doing 80 damage to me.
So I just want to put it out this way, right? Me trading with Moy, like when I've said trade routes to him, like helps me, but him choosing to trade with me has nothing to do with my decisions, right? I can't stop him from sending.
You were helping the enemy. You were helping the enemy, and you were not helping me.
I do want to chime in that I was sending 0 trade routes to Nystagmus because I did not want them to get plundered by Zoe's boats. So I was sending absolutely 0 trade routes, and I had all internal trade routes. So I'm gonna call BS on that one.
That it couldn't do anything, and I was losing a lot of gold every turn. The only reason that I was even alive was Sinbad.
You know what that sounds like, Zoe? You know what that sounds like?
What?
It sounds like a you problem.
It wasn't me problem, but I needed the armies to even scratch you, and they couldn't do anything, right? So yeah, unfortunately, the mistake I made, I should have declared war on Nystagmus. I don't think there's anything you would have been able to do about it. Nystagmus might have been able to mount a defense, but I had so many boats that pretty much his coast was toast.
Nice, good rhyme.
Yeah, it's true because it rhymed. And yeah, it was. I don't know.
It was tough. It was tough, and let's move on from it. Let's forget about it.
Fans of the show, I tried to keep my spirits up as much as I could. I tried to stay in good spirits. It was really hard. I even messaged Moy afterwards and was like, "We need a mercy rule where because that was my biggest regret was that just doing that stupid little
the guy
war.
That came over and then stomped on my capital is complaining about a mercy rule.
Yeah, well, no, because that mistake I made was that I didn't destroy you, and I should have destroyed you.
But
because I couldn't do anything more.
What's your mercy rule then?
The mercy rule was
listen to this one. Listen to this one. Oh no, we're gonna lose him. Oh, that's the mercy rule. Is that he disconnects? That's the one. That's the mercy.
He's the one who just strolled over to my capital and then burned it to the ground, right?
The mercy rule is if you go 5 turns, okay, where nobody kills anything.
During a war.
Nobody kills anything. During a war. Nobody kills anything. Okay. So you say, I'd like mercy. You declare a declaration of mercy. Okay. If there's 5 turns where nobody kills anything, mercy is then granted. Okay. Peace is declared. Because essentially, you're just in a state of war where the other person's just like, nah, I'm just going to do this so that we slow the game down and your amenities will just drain. And that, and that's maybe in a 3-player game where there's no city states, like essentially, if we were going to have fun there, it should have been that we switched to SimCity mode, right? Not that we're just in this eternal state because there's no point for me to even be there unless I go and attack Nystagmus, which that was my mistake. If I'd done that, or if we had had the mercy rule, it would have turned to some Sin City mode, and it would have just been us building and seeing if one of us could get a culture or a science victory, which might have been at least interesting to watch. So, anyways,
Let's move on. Let's
Bueno,
sure.
this is all started because you tried to steal a settler.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
It was
You
it
started
was
this.
my greatest mistake. I regret it. It's 3 hours I'll never get back. So I'll think about that the next time I try to steal a settler.
Let's move on to a little bit more of a positive note here. Let's talk about your prediction about Kublai Khan and how that came true. You know what I watched? Or you know what was a YouTube comment today in one of our videos? It was the first podcast we ever made. And you know what happened in that podcast? You predicted Kublai Khan would be a leader. And here we are in January. And who's coming out? None other than Kublai Khan. So talk to us about... Here's your bragging moment, bud. Just go get it.
Basically, when the Frontier Pass was announced, I looked at the release date for January and noted that it had specifically that you needed a specific expansion, and I don't think any of the other ones needed that specific expansion. And then I also took note that it had said that there'll be 2 leaders and 1 civilization. So I was like, okay, so we're getting a new leader for an existing civilization. So I just looked at what was released in that particular pack. So I think it was
Rise and Fall.
And the one that jumped out at me was that was when Mongolia came out, and Kublai Khan is like probably that's second to Genghis himself. Not to mention like super popular. If any of you watched the Marco Polo series, great season 1, okay season 2, but it was about this Italian dude in Kublai Khan's court. So it was a very intriguing, interesting show. And so that was the guest that I put forward with Kublai Khan, and here we are. Zoe got something right.
What I want to do by the end of this new Frontier Pass is I want to watch that video or that podcast with both of you and just have a live reaction of our first ever podcast, like the embarrassment and the cringe probably of it. 2, what our predictions were and how much actually came true. I think that'd be good content.
Yeah.
Good, maybe exclusive content.
Could be maybe good for a upcoming service that we want to provide.
Yeah.
To a private few.
So Kublai Khan,
some sort of patronage site.
You're really good at subtle hints. So Kublai Khan, they didn't really show much about Kublai Khan, but they showed that when you send a trade route to someone, specifically he sent it to China, that you get both a inspiration and a eureka. So I have my theories on that. I'm sure you guys have your theories on that. I think I'm right though. I don't know, like how confident are you in your theory if you have one?
I was gonna say it's likely gonna be something linked to you get you get a eureka or something that they already have whenever you establish a trade route. So I had a similar because it was something to do with cultural exchange, idea exchange, and eurekas and are the equivalent of that in Civ.
I would like a new unit, and I like a new siege unit. Specifically for Kublai Khan, I would like to see a trebuchet.
Oh, please. Oh, my God, please. Yes.
That'd be interesting.
Why specifically to Kublai Khan? Can you educate me here? I actually don't know why that would be specific to Kublai Khan.
You gotta watch Marco Polo.
Apparently, yeah.
The mass use of a trebuchet is attributed to ancient China.
Okay.
One of the types. There's a couple different types of trebuchets, but the first type of it is depiction of the Mongols using the trebuchet to basically take down cities.
Does it project a 30-kilogram projectile over 300 meters?
Is that a meme?
Yes, it is. I thought you got it. I was really proud of you, but now I don't know anymore. I'm really conflicted. Yes, it's a big meme. It was a meme way back when. Okay, keep going. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Well, no, well, just that because it helps also break like the stereotype that the stereotype of the Mongols is the Mongol hordes, right? They overtook all these cities because of just like
Feels like I'm
basically
wearing
Zabranic
nothing at
and
all.
wave after wave
Nothing
of
at
fight until
all.
they basically killed
Nothing at
everybody.
all.
But they're actually very
Stupid
astute
Flanders.
City takers because they developed a lot of different siege techniques that were very effective, and one of them is using something like a trebuchet. And so I would think it would be really cool if Kublai Khan had the trebuchet. Now that is also in Marco Polo. Like he basically wants to like Polo. Spoilers. Unless he comes up with a way of taking a city, and Marco Polo came up with the trebuchet for him.
Well, it was a European technology that he was like, we can make this, right? I think was the idea. But if they did that, Kublai Khan, that'd be interesting because then if it was him offering it, for China, he'd be giving them that unit, and they'd still have their Crouching Tiger because Crouching Tiger is China's unit, pretty sure. That's not the leader's unit. And Genghis Khan's he doesn't give them the Kessig, right? He gives them a cavalry bonus, right? And he also, I think, he takes over a unit.
But there's no reason why he can't have an extra unit, right? Like
well, there are
provide
like
units.
That,
like even who am I thinking of?
The Ottomans have two units.
Yeah.
So
Victoria, I think as well
could be that
has the red coats versus like Eleanor doesn't have the red coats.
What if Kublai Khan gave you an extra governor and he gave you Marco Polo or something like that, so that
is that
either
like
one,
actually
China
a thing?
or
Marco
Polo did go to the like at least that story
much
is based on.
much of his thing is very romanticized.
That's what I thought.
Oh yeah,
I thought most of Marco Polo's stories was romanticized.
Did anyone mention the raid
bullshit
that we're being raided by Peppermint Butler?
Yeah, you can mention it now. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, sorry. Thanks, Peppermint Butler, for the raid.
Up, and then it's TheCivShow. Left instantly. Thanks for the raid.
And thank you for the sub as well to BFD. Tier 1 sub. 4 months, dude. Welcome back. Okay.
So yeah, I could see Trebuchet.
And have it have a longer range than the catapult, essentially.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Hold on.
Maybe?
Whoa. Okay, I know the meme. Yes, you project a 30-kilogram projectile 300 meters away. It's superior to a catapult. That's the meme. Is that like, why would you have a catapult when you could have a trebuchet? So, having 3 range with a trebuchet when the bombard has 2 and you don't get 3 range until artillery. Not even artillery. That has 2 range. You don't get 3 range until you get to the missile launcher thing. I can't. We never get to that part of the game. I don't even know what it's called.
Rocket
artillery. That's rocket artillery. That's I think 3 range, and maybe that's not even 3 range. It only gets 3 range when you have the drone or the observer balloon, right? So, oh man, that would be kind of broken. I don't think.
What if it gave it something like a charge? So like a siege unit that was maybe like the siege tower, okay, that had charges, like 2 or 3 charges, and when you used a charge, it made a little fortification, not a fortress, like a district fortification with health and everything. That like even if it's just 1 charge, there's an idea.
Let's combine ideas here. What if it was a support unit class that when you have it on a ranged unit, it becomes a siege unit?
Like let's put it this way. Like we can talk about all the cool things that make it broken. A lot of things are broken, right? Like all the new things are broken, right? Sinbad's broken, right? So
in such a good way though.
But so I was just thinking because I'm just trying to be historically relevant. Like the Turks, and they don't have the special unit; they have the Janissary instead. But there is the Great Turkish Bombard. Like it's one of the biggest guns ever made.
Well, they have that as an ability, right?
It's an ability, but but it is an actual gun that they created when they took the city, and it was able to shoot like a 7-ton boulder, like 300 yards away. It could only fire 5 times a day. It was one of the biggest guns ever made, even by modern standards. It was about 5 to 7 feet in diameter, right? Like the barrel of the gun.
Well, it was just
Right?
one. It was one thing, not like an array of bombards. It was just
No, it was
one
just
bombard.
one. It was
Holy
one bombard.
crap, man!
Because
That's
it took like
insane.
an army just to move the damn thing,
Right.
right? And so, like that in and of itself, just that existing, it's because the Sultan who took Constantinople, who's not the leader in the game, he got all the best gunsmiths in Europe to build him like massive artillery pieces, to take Constantinople, to get through the walls. And so, basically, a lot of things that happen in history are not balanced.
Well, no, you can't be like, "Hey, you're
okay.
cheating." That you can't. We don't have the technology
we
for
don't have-
gunpowder yet. You can't do that.
Okay,
Come on.
I'll throw these two ideas at you. So if it was a
Okay.
siege, what if it was a siege that from like 2 squares away could put the city under siege? So you know how normally you need like melee units adjacent to the city? What if this was a special siege unit that from 2 squares away, if you had like more than one, like even just 2 of them, puts the city under siege?
Okay,
So
I
get
can
like
see that. I can see that.
Or Kublai
There's some other things
Khan.
in chat. They're saying that it can't move and attack.
No, I know,
on the
but
same
the reason
turn,
my plus 3 range
things
is
like
broken
that.
is because now it can't get attacked by the city, and so you can attack without getting
Yeah.
attacked. That's
Yeah,
why I think it's broken.
I take
But
that.
what
I
was your
take
other?
that.
What was your other options though?
The other idea was, I believe Kublai Khan, he did, like, he was more of the empire builder. So I could see something where, like, when you take a city, maybe something to do with loyalty. Maybe it starts fully loyal when you any city that you conquer, or something along those lines. Maybe something like when you take a city, maybe certain things don't get destroyed, or maybe population doesn't get decimated. Maybe I could see something like that. So something to do with, once you take the city over, it joins your empire considerably faster, or cedes maybe like when you take a city over, it cedes without peace. Maybe something like along those lines. Maybe you have to build it, or it could be a trade route. If you build a trade route with a
Well, that would be like a civilization
city, you just
ability. We were talking about the special unit as well, right? And stuff.
I don't know if they'll
Because
get a special unit. I don't know if
There's
they'll get a
gotta be a
special.
reason though why they're showing Kublai Khan second. In my head, if I'm Firaxis, I would show the one that would be least popular first. Why? Because it builds hype for the second one. Why did they show Vietnam first? Because like I feel like there should be way more to unpack with Vietnam. Like that's the real hype, but they showed Vietnam first. Why? They're hiding something with Kublai Khan, and maybe it's the second unit, maybe it's the trebuchet, maybe it's something else. What the hell is in this leader?
Well, he represents two. He's like Eleanor, right? He's going to be part of
yeah,
two.
like something
so
like that. Yeah, like something
That's
crazy.
like, that's what they
Well,
say. It's China and Mongolia. Is
You may
one
say that
leader
maybe
for two.
most popular, but maybe people are more looking forward to the brand new Civ that has everything brand new, as opposed to a new leader who doesn't really reveal a whole lot.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they keep that to later, right? Like, why wouldn't they build the hype for Vietnam? Like, I fully expected a Kublai Khan video today, but they came up with
probably
Vietnam.
flipped a coin. They said, "What are we going to do first?" Okay, Vietnam. We'll do. I think you. I don't know why. Like, I think lead strong, right? Because soon we're gonna find out. Probably when they release Kublai Khan, they'll also release corporations, and they'll just be okay. So this is equivalent to this.
I like.
That's my
Okay,
guess.
I like
That's like
that.
next week.
I like
It's next
that.
week that it's
Yeah,
coming
it's on
out, right?
Tuesday. I think the video's coming out Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday the pack comes out, and then Sunday we have Van Bradley
So
to showcase.
whoever we end up playing with on Sunday. Oh, I thought
Yeah.
we were. Oh, I thought it was a big surprise.
No, that's not. That wasn't. Okay, that's not what I was
is our
getting at, bro.
next
The
guest
pre-show.
tonight.
The pre-show. No. Okay, off topic. Off red flag. Red flag. So okay, let's talk about Vietnam.
Vietnam?
Yeah, let's do it.
All
let's
right.
do it.
I got all the
You
notes
have
here.
all the. Yeah, you go for it, man. Go for
All
it.
right. So Vietnam, I'll just give the quick overview that we all saw today. Also watch Moy's reaction video if you haven't already. So first off, the Nine Dragon River Delta. What a great name, by the way.
Right?
Nine
Oh my
Dragon
God.
River Delta. That's awesome. Okay.
I had to pause the
Um,
video and be like, wait, did they really just
yeah.
call it that? I went back. Nine Dragon River Delta. Dude, that is so sick.
So they can only build their districts on rainforest, marshes, and woods, and it doesn't remove it. Okay, they can only build it on them. Woods gives you +1 culture. Rainforest gives you +1 science, and marsh gives you +1 production.
Yes, correct.
So that's wild.
Per building,
That's,
per
especially
building.
when we get to the rest of the abilities, but on its own, that's pretty cool. Okay. They've got a new unit, the Voi Chen elephant, which is awesome because it's an elephant. Okay.
Love elephant
So
units.
this super crossbowman, all right, has an increased speed. So I believe it's a base of 4.
No, I saw 6, unless it was in a forest. Unless it was in a forest.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Let's presume it's a base of 4. Okay, maybe 5, whatever. Okay, an increased attack. Okay, so I believe its range attack is 45 to the crossbowman's 40. An increased attack melee. So defense, I believe it goes up from 35 to 30, and an increased vision. So it's probably a +1 vision, or it can see in forests. Okay, an interesting unit on its own. However, it'll get ramped up in a moment. Then we have the new Thran or Thrime. Okay, so this is a really interesting, unique district. So it replaces the encampment. Okay, it gets +2 culture for each adjacent district. All right, and then after tourism, after flight, you get a tourism for whatever culture bonus you have.
Yeah.
It does not require population. So it never counts against, so every city can have one of these babies in it, okay? The downside is it doesn't count as a specialty district. So
that's
triggers,
good. That's a good thing.
It can be bad. That can be bad because that to me means that it wouldn't trigger certain Eurekas and stuff like that. If it doesn't count as a specialty district.
It doesn't trigger like one
I know
Eureka.
it's supposed to be a good thing because it doesn't. But that no pop tells me that that ability counts, okay? But that it doesn't count as a specialty district, that to me tells me that it's not going to work with any civics that you have that say, if you have 2 specialty districts, you get a +1 amenity.
Okay, fair.
It's not going to work for that stuff, okay?
Sure.
You get 1 general point, you get 2 gold, and it creates +1 production. So you basically have every city can have one of these babies. It's going to make you a bunch of culture. It's going to still count as your encampment, so it's going to still do your base encampment. And yeah, you're going to have crazy culture through the roof.
I think part of that specialty, that's not a specialty thing. So somebody just said this in chat. It's not bound to terrain features. So you don't have to build this on forest. You don't have to build this on jungle. You don't have to build this on marsh. You can build it anywhere.
Right.
It just doesn't get the bonus, but
the edge though is if you do build it on one of those, you'll get the +1 culture or the +1
No, because it's not a specialty district. The specialty districts get that. That's part of that. Of like, it's not a specialty
that
district.
That makes sense. This last one is insane. This last one is insane. Okay, this is the leader bonus. +5 combat in rainforest, marshes, and woods. +1 movement if you start there. Double these bonuses if they're in your home territory. So you get a +10 combat bonus in rainforest, marsh, and wood, and a +2 movement if you start in one of those. Throw in there something like Defender of the Faith, and you have got this nutso foundation for a number bonus that makes them basically, this to me is they are the best defensive civ in the game.
Oh yeah.
+10 ridiculous.
And the
that
fact
is crazy.
And you didn't get to, I think, the last point, the woods.
Go ahead. So with the double in home territory,
so they can plant woods with medieval fairs.
Yeah, when they get medieval fairs, they can plant woods. So basically, oh my goodness, and then all of your units, their elephant moving through this, for instance, is going through. This is where I think it goes up to 6. That's why I'm saying I believe it's a base of 4 movement, and then it can go up to 6 with this.
Okay.
Forest.
Now I get it. Yeah.
But
okay.
I think the planning force is still only in your home territory. I hope it's only in your home territory.
It's probably +2 in your home territory and then +1 outside of your home territory.
Yeah, but like your
makes sense.
Workers' ability.
And only in specific terrain. Like you got to stick to the.
Yeah. It said that in the
That's
thing.
right.
Don't build on deserts. They're garbage in deserts.
Stick to the trees.
Stick to the trees.
But there's a lot of things to unpack with like the ability to plant trees. Okay,
Yeah.
so one, you get bonus movement and combat strength. Two, you restrict enemy movement.
Slow them down.
Imagine just like they have to just creep ahead, and you're just shooting and shooting and shooting, and you could have your archer shoot and then back up and shoot and back up. You have those horses or those horses, elephants. Shoot, back up one space. Come get me. Shoot, back up one space. Come, keep coming. You can't get to me, man. They're crazy.
Not to mention, like chopping them won't do anything. Pretty sure when you grow, if you chop them, it won't do anything. But you can build a lumber mill there, or late game. Oh, what do you know? I can build nature reserves very easily. I've got all these trees already planted everywhere. Not going to be too hard for me. Like I know by then your builders can do it, but you might as well have a bunch of trees everywhere. You might as well have your border surround. So this, you just can turtle up, plant your trees. Everybody wins. Just no desert. Don't go to desert. Don't go desert. Don't go mountain. You're good.
I want to hear from Nystagmus. I want to hear his thoughts on Vietnam.
For sure.
Well, for me, like it just sounded very much like it's a very just like the goal is kind of like a defensive production civ, right? Vietnam speaks to me like a defensive culture civ, right? There's a lot of abilities to stack culture a lot, and go for that culture victory. Now I know that someone asked very poignantly in the chat, Vector Cat, always with the clutch questions, whether or not who's better at defense. Would it be Vietnam or would it be the Gaul? Now I would say that Vietnam probably has a better innate defensive quality, but the Gaul, their defensive quality stacks as you build their armies, right? So theirs is very much based on how many units you have, because every adjacent unit gives you that defensive bonus, right?
And you can go on the offensive with that. It's just a flat combat bonus.
And so theirs is probably a little bit more versatile, because the way you can arrange your armies will help with the combat bonus, whereas Vietnam is solely for defensive purposes, because their bonuses are so much better in their own territory. You get the bonuses a little bit outside of their territory, but again, only for those specific terrain types. Whereas the Gauls is there all the time. And so if you, as soon as you step out of your own terrain type, like if you don't want Vietnam to attack you and stuff, don't go into woods, don't go into marshes, don't go in the jungle.
Chop all your trees. Chop
them.
all your trees.
You take their cities over, chop them down. They're all obviously susceptible to forest fires. So obviously they're not playing apocalypse mode.
And the elephant unit, their unit kind of tells me it's like it's a mobile defense drone, basically, because it's so fast, it can shoot, and with the bonuses they get in their own territory, it can move from one side of the empire to the other very quickly, in order to respond to threats, right? So it doesn't seem like it would be like a hugely offensive weapon as soon as you get out of like their special terrain types in their territory. I think it's going to be super useful as like you have one of them and it can go from one end. Like if in the early game, if you only have 4 cities, it can go from one end of your empire to the other probably in 2 turns.
Especially with roads, you probably get there in 1 turn.
What scares me about this empire, though, is because of their special encampment, they're likely going to have lots of generals, right? So they're going to be in this situation where they have forests and they have all this stuff everywhere. They're ready to use them. They can springboard out of their empire into adjacent empires, where effectively you're going to have a unit with like we're talking Grand Columbia style units here, that are coming out at like 6 or 7 movement. If you take logistics, 8 movement with a general, there is
one downside to that,
for an elephant.
We assume they're going to get a lot of generals if there's no other civ in the game that has a similar strategy like the Gaul, right? The Gaul, their encampment's kind of the same thing, right? So they would also get extra general bonus points too. And so they would compete with them for great generals.
Well,
so as long as there's no one else there to compete with them, then they would stack up all their great generals.
The Gaul don't inherently don't have to build encampments, right? The Gaul build their thing is their workshop, right? Their oppidum. So the Gaul are going to be generating more of the engineers, and they certainly could build encampments, but these guys specifically are building encampments. Like this is their special unit that is amazing, that you can build pretty much clustered with any other district. And you know, when Peppermint Butler gets this and adds it to his amazing city building skills, he's going to show us how amazing an adjacency bonus he can get for each of these little these little encampments.
Let's see how they
people
how
with
they stack
real
up against
city building skills.
the generals from Gran Colombia then too, right? Like
no, I think I think they still get more. I think the only people who can compete with like the amount of great generals that Vietnam can produce is Shaka, who has a unique encampment as well and wants to build it in pretty much in every one of his cities, and Alexander, who has a unique building within the encampment, and obviously he wants to build that because that's how you get your science bonus when you're producing units. I really don't think you like everyone else might get one. They're gonna have like 8. Like Vietnam's gonna have all of the
every
great
city
generals.
should have one. It's free. It's free, right?
Yeah.
And
it's
I
like
think it's
building
reduced,
an aqueduct. Like why not?
I think it's a reduced cost.
Yeah,
sure.
It's half the cost, and it's free, and it's an encampment. You get bonus to producing your units. You get bonus XP to all of your units.
It makes 2 gold as well. It gives you 2 gold
insane.
And a
this
production.
Is so good.
So, and there might be a difference too, depending on like if you play the Vietnam against the AI, because then you would. But if someone knew that and they try to compete with you, if there's like a faith producing civ that can maybe try to buy the great generals as they come and then retire them.
Yeah, but they're still accumulating the points. They'll eventually get one.
I know, but there's only so many great generals in the game.
Civ, by the way, this is like there's nothing for them for faith. They're science and culture victory.
Oh yeah, who cares about faith? No. Yeah. If you get it though, and you get Defender of the Faith, watch out. Oh my god. You're talking about math. That's the math. Is crazy good. I liked also. I want to add one more thing. Dash Green said you can have like a highway of elephants. So it's crazy to think about. You can have one elephant come in, move like one space, shoot, move out. Have the next elephant come in, shoot, move out. Have the next elephant shoot, come out.
I forgot to mention that they can move after shooting. I think they hijacked way too much from Gran Colombia. These guys. I know they don't have to move after shooting. They have the they can upgrade and then keep going. But man. Gran Colombia gets a lot of these movement bonuses, but it doesn't have all this other cool stuff. They've got all this movement bonus, and they've got a bunch of cool stuff on top of it for where all their buildings. And...
I don't know, and I feel like there's a pattern, right? Here's the pattern I've seen.
All right.
The pattern is that a new civ is released. We all scream about how OP it is, and then we start playing it, and then we find out, oh, there's actually some kinks in the armor that we haven't thought of. That can usually exploit them, right?
Yeah.
I remember we had the same conversation. Well, Gran Colombia actually ended up being true. They actually had to nerf them. So, but
yeah, no kidding. They were ridiculous.
But we thought the same thing about the Byzantine Empire, and then we were like, oh wait, yeah, there's actually like some timings you have to do, and if you don't do it, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
And we thought the same thing about the Gaul when they first came out too. We thought they were pretty strong.
I think though civs that are defensive, I think generally are strong. If you're a good defensive civ, you can just turtle up and do whatever you want. And got to remember too, with all these forests give you a defense bonus, right? Plus 5, and if they're on a hill. Right, that's even more.
+5,
so
+6, yeah.
You know you have these everywhere, so that's also adding onto this bonus.
Then the game modes add a whole other dimension to this, right? If you play in apocalypse mode, how many forest fires will there be?
Okay,
that will kind of start screwing with that.
Yes.
Right?
And man, if there's a forest fire in Vietnam, all their units are going to die, and it's going to be so satisfying. Oh my god, I can't wait.
And can't. Oh wait, no, you have to take it over. You're gonna say vampires. Can't they just rip apart anybody's forest? But no, I think it's neutral forest. You can rip it apart if you have a charge.
Yeah, you don't waste that charge.
But like a strategy you might do is when you take over one of their cities, if you don't think you can keep it, just keep it long enough to raise all their forests.
Just raise the city.
That's true. That's right.
That's way easier.
That's a lot easier. No.
And then
I'm attacking with an army of builders.
Yeah, and then heroes would just make this even more broken, right? Like
Yeah.
Himiko with all those bonuses on top of it would be
Oh,
kind of crazy too.
Another +10 to all of those and more math involved. Oh, god damn.
Like it would be Peppermint Butler's Tagmas all over again, right?
Worse,
Like,
actually. Worse. No, you thought Tagmas were bad? Wait until Peppermint Butler gets his hands on it. Yeah, like Zoe said. Wait until Peppermint Butler gets his hands. It's not the district building I'm scared of. It's the fact that he's gonna like somehow big brain plant a forest like 3 tiles away from your city and just capture it in 1 turn. That's the big brain that I expect out of Peppermint Butler. I don't care about this dish. A child can have a +12 culture district. You know what I mean? Like you just need a few districts around it. Like it's not hard to surround your government plaza with districts, right? It's the planning of I'm gonna put this city right here so purposely. I'm gonna buy these 3 tiles and then I'm gonna plant a forest there all on the same turn. Then on the next turn, I'm gonna have my army of elephants come from 7 tiles away, shoot this thing all in 1 turn, and have a knight coming from the back. And he's not gonna expect it. That's the Peppermint Butler play right there. I'm calling it now.
Oh, man.
Next Civ give, that's what's happening. He's gonna take Vietnam, he's gonna turtle, and then he's gonna nuke not only me, but you and him and that guy.
You get a nuke, and you get a nuke.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a nuke.
And he can be able to do it, especially with the encampments. He just builds so many units.
basically, all
This
I'm learning right
thing's
now
so
from the last
nuts,
few
man.
games is the more and more I play and I get a religion and stuff like that, I'm finding that work ethic is overrated and Defender of the Faith is underrated.
Yeah,
It's good.
Defender of the
It's
Faith
good.
is you gotta get it. Okay, all right. Let's talk about the last feature,
Sure.
shall we? Okay,
Yeah.
I think we Vietnam's gonna be fun. Okay, and I think we're gonna do a special format
Fun.
for these civilizations. Yeah, fun for if
Fun.
you're using them. The last feature, Nystagmus called this. This is a feature right out of Civ 4, which was arguably that was the pinnacle of the old square box Civ before they switched to the hex map, the square Civ, the block Civ, and that is corporations.
Yeah.
These look like, I know for me, you guys know I love my gold. Okay, this looks so great. The idea
So
of
we're gonna have Zoe pick Mali in like every single game.
Yeah,
I
the
know.
We have corporation
I
nodes.
know.
the idea that, because this kind of lends to the I think this is going to be, it seems like a victory condition, right? It seems
It
that's the
seems like
direction
an
that they're
idea of a victory condition.
Well, because it's if you want to gain a monopoly,
Yeah.
okay, and if you can gain a so now if you have replication of your amenities, it's going to get you a bunch of bonus stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then if you get then you can get, I guess, special missions to try and steal it from other people or something like that,
I
where you can monopolize
Don't
it.
know if you can steal it from other people. I think you can trade for it, or maybe you just take over the city, or you take a Nasi and you just start pillaging all the luxury resources on the map.
It seemed aggressive
kind of
the
like-
way that it was suggesting it.
Maybe.
So the way I'm, and they haven't released all the notes on it, right? And so
No,
we don't
not yet.
really know how it works. But the way that the video kind of explained it was, if you corner, they use the terms corner the market, right? So the way I'm reading that is, there's only so many diamonds in the game, right? So there's so many
Yes.
diamond resources.
Yes.
If you get enough duplicate diamonds of it, you can turn those like duplicate resources into those special districts. And if you're able to do that, then you start controlling the market for diamonds, essentially, right?
Mhm.
Meaning it will be harder for other people to duplicate their resources. If you have the most
Mhm.
diamonds, and also I think they're trying to fix one thing in the game is that, like, if you settle a city and there's like 5 diamonds like near your city, like there's no point of like improving all of them, right
Right.
away, because you don't get duplicate amenities. It's only good if you're going to get the trade. Now there's actually like an incentive for you to improve all your diamond things, so you can get these special like stock exchanges, and then you can get like the monopolies, that you get all these gold bonuses with it. And I think the point is that get to the monopoly as fast as possible, because I think that will shut out other people from gaining a monopoly on diamonds elsewhere in the world.
Right.
Okay, so well, if you have a monopoly of diamonds, I don't think it. I think the word monopoly means
have
that no
all
one
of them.
else has diamonds. So
Yeah.
So
But it might. This is why I think there might be aggression involved, where you're able to basically acquire other people's
Maybe,
amenities.
maybe you can buy them. Maybe there's a central market that you can buy them from, or maybe you can put them on sale. I don't know.
You know,
No, it's not that you get all the diamonds. If you get the monopoly, you can turn the diamonds into a product.
Yeah, and then the
Right?
product.
And so if you have the monopoly on diamonds, then you're the only one who can make the product.
right.
Oh,
It's a
I
city.
thought,
It's like a
okay.
city. It's a city project that you can do to make a product, and then it becomes
Interesting.
another thing that gives you an amenity. It's another thing that is something that gives you gold, and it's another thing you can trade with other people for
Right.
stuff.
But
Yeah,
just even the bonus
that's what gives you
amenity.
the plus 25 like gold to all to the city, the host city, or like the plus growth. If you have like a corporation of chocolate or a corporation of
Yeah, and then
diamonds,
it
So
or
gives
it
you a
allow you to
something
tour,
like
build
that, right?
big cities then.
and then it
Mhm.
gives you a tourism boost once you
Yeah.
get to a certain point.
Right, yes. And then a tourism boost. I'd like if it unlocked civics. I always like if there's a special policy card, you know, that you can unlock always if we can. It just the way that it was described though, it sounded fun and it sounded like future games will be we have corporations and secret societies.
Yeah, I agree.
It had that kind of like the other ones are all crazy.
Yeah, Secret Society's turned into a default game mode, basically, right? So,
Yeah, for
Yeah.
like everybody, for everyone. Just secret societies is default. It's crazy.
Yeah, because it adds a fun flair to the game where all the other ones to date they're crazy. They add like an unstable, unpredictable component that isn't always fun.
Well, okay,
You know,
Heroes
like
is
100
popular. Heroes
attacking,
is
100
actually really
attacking.
popular, just not among us. I think we're the minority here, thinking
But
that Heroes is
maybe
not
it's
that great.
popular against the computer. I could see that because whenever I played with against the computer does not seem to know how to use heroes very
No,
well.
exactly, yeah.
So I could see it, yeah, against AI. I could see why people are like, "Yay!" I don't think that multiplayer players maybe share.
oh, okay. So this is how it works. Okay,
Oh, he
so
found it.
you get duplicate luxury resources.
Yeah.
It gives you buried buffs. They haven't really talked about that yet. But if you get a
Okay.
great merchant, it increases the power of the industry even further into a corporation.
Yes.
Corporations grant stronger buffs, and they can give you a city project to make the product.
Yes.
Which is a great work. And you store them at stock exchanges and seaports.
Yes.
It gives the corporations benefits to the home city. Finally, a monopoly on a luxury resource is created when a single civilization controls a dominating world share of it.
Okay.
So you don't have to control all of it. You just have to
Just
you have
most
to
of
control
it.
the
More than
most of it.
50%.
See, that's cool because it gives you a mission. Like, I want to go out and get this stuff. I want to
Yeah.
go out
There's
and
a
take
reason
these
to
cities.
capture or burn another
There's a
city,
reason,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it sounds like that would support any victory condition, except for maybe religious. Having more amenities and more gold.
And so yeah, and I think it's like you get the world share of it, and you don't need to own all of it because in order to have a monopoly, you just need to be able to be so powerful in
want-
it that you manipulate the price.
Right.
So that's all that matters is that you're big enough to manipulate the price, and it screws over anyone else who would rather.
It's like
compete with you.
diamonds are in fact a very, very common substance. It's carbon. Carbon is
Yeah.
everywhere. Okay. The
They
reason diamonds are
artificially-
valuable is marketing.
Yeah.
That's
it's very
and
true.
and that
And
De Beers
they-
controls.
They hoard them.
They hoard them, yeah, and they
Yeah.
destroy them. They'll destroy diamonds. They do.
So
But yeah,
So-
and the idea that like a wedding an engagement ring should be 3 years salary, that was invented in like
what?
yeah 3 months salary. 3
Oh,
months salary.
jeez. Okay.
3 months salary.
Drastically
Sorry,
different.
3 months salary. Yeah, 3 months salary. That idea was invented. It was a marketing stunt. The engagement ring idea that you should spend 3 months salary on a ring.
But the fact that you should even have an
stunt
engagement
back
ring.
in like the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
1930s.
30s. Okay, it was a while,
Yeah.
but it didn't exist. It wasn't like there's this weird. Oh, it's this ancient tradition. The Egyptians invented it, and where the people would toil for 45
Now,
days to get
What
this
I
one.
think would be
No.
very interesting is whether or not they wrap in the government types and how they interact with the corporations. If that would be kind of
Right.
interesting too. So
I
like
hope so.
mercantilism, and then there's capitalism, democracy,
Yeah.
communism.
Like they
kind of thing
should.
too. That would be kind of interesting if there's like certain buffs to these corporations through that government type. That would be very interesting if they add that as well.
And
I
like,
hope
is
they
it
add this in
something
Civ 7.
that does it not kick in until you get mercantilism, or is it something that is earlier, or is it something that right when you get your first great merchant.
I think it's
you
right
can't
away.
get
I think
product.
it's right away.
You can't get products really until you get like something that can store them. So you need seaports and stock exchanges, right? So
Right.
you can
That's
only
late.
store products in those two buildings.
Then
But
can
right?
you
I
So-
still
steal-
can get
can
a
I steal
corporation.
products?
Yeah, you can probably steal them. Yeah.
That'd be cool if I can steal your product.
Like a
Yeah,
spy
the corporation
mission?
is made by a great merchant.
Yeah, and that you can make. So the corporation is what gives you the boost. So if I make a corporation on mine, that's what gives me the plus 25% in gold in my host city. The product is just kind of like that additional, it also produces me culture and tourism, right?
So
And
it's a
then I
lot
can-
like Civ 4 then.
And I think also they're trying to add another element to the game, which is, when you go to war with somebody or when you're trying to take something, now they're trying to make it so that maybe you're actually trying to take a certain city because it has certain natural resources
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
that you're trying to take, right? And get that boost because you need
Now,
duplicates.
Very
of natural
historically
resources.
accurate. Yeah.
Do you guys think that it'll be that it's a generic bonus, or will it be that like honey grants a specific bonus or diamonds grant?
That is actually what it is. Yeah. So chocolate
gonna
is
be-
specifically like
That's,
food and
so
housing.
there's going to be like 20 different types of bonuses,
Is
or are
it
they going
20?
to cluster them into types? I think there's like maybe there's
well,
not 20.
I would imagine chocolate and honey might be similar,
There's
right?
Tea, chocolate, incense,
Spices,
silk,
coffee.
diamonds.
That's a good point.
Spices, coffee. Yeah, there's a lot of like
maybe
luxury
there is like
resources.
think there's
there's
15.
I'm guessing there's groups. So like anything that has to do with food, you get plus housing. So like spices, tea, chocolate, honey. Anything to do with like money, plus 25% gold in the whole city. So diamond, silver. I wonder what mercury would be.
Maybe
I
Mercury
think
and
that would be
like
in there.
turtles would be like science, because turtle's a luxury resource too, right? I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know.
true. And whales. What are you gonna do
And
with whales?
I think whales are a bonus. Are they a
No,
bonus?
they're luxury. Fish
I
and
think it'll
crabs
be
are
based.
bonus.
Think
Oh,
about
it's
it.
for
Like
the oil. For
Jade-
whales, they get for oil, right? There's
Jade
oil
gives
in
you
the whales.
culture, so it'll probably be like that. It'll be if it gives you science, it's something linked to science. If it gives you gold, it's something linked to gold. Because some of them, I think incense gives you faith, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good way to see it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's
like that.
probably what they'll do. They'll
Ah.
branch it out like that, and then like turtles gives you science, I believe.
Yes.
And there's a couple other ones that give you science. Iron, well,
Iron's a strategic resource, though.
is strategic. Is it just going to be luxury?
Yes.
I think it's only luxury.
it's only
It's
luxury.
luxury.
Yeah.
Now, one way that they could do this is if they started like this. I think this is like a pilot, and I think they're going to expand it because
I
there
think so
should be
too, yeah.
corporations and things surrounding strategic resources because there are in real life, right? There are around
Yeah.
coal or oil,
Oil
iron,
Aluminum,
right? Aluminum, uranium.
uranium,
or aluminium if you're proper.
aluminium.
So I think that would be really cool if they did that too. But I don't think they want to do it right away because just say they did that and they had the same thing, that would make it so that someone can dominate the world trade of like a strategic resource
Right.
and like kind of screw everyone else over for a strategic resource, which kind of really messes the game up.
That
If you're a
happens on a
smart player,
game
though,
basis.
if you're a
man.
smart player, yeah, you find where all the oil is first, and you make sure that you're the only one that has a
And you can
significant
start
portion.
selling it. Man, so last game, by the way, I had 0 niter. That's why I said you have hope. Like I have no niter. I had so much land and no niter. And that was when I went on my monologue. I was like, why is there no niter anywhere on this map? This is
You didn't need niter.
ridiculous.
You had your plus 30 bonuses. It was
anyway.
It was enough.
Yeah, but like
salt and lemon juice and vinegar and acid. What else can we put on this?
Mulan. Yeah, Mulan's really good.
Moolah.
But I feel like the lacking of strategic resources almost happens every game. There's always like, oh, I don't have niter, and always like one person has niter, but then that person's
Maybe we
not
should
willing to
start
sell
playing-
the niter, right?
Maybe we should start playing abundant.
That's one thing, or we just yeah.
There's no
You know what?
heroes.
Yeah.
Never do heroes again, and I think we'll be good.
That's it. So then
That's it.
I would have royally been screwed. But I did have Renaissance walls by the end of that game, and I don't think you could have ever came in. And then I would have gotten steel, and then you would have been done. It would have been over.
Your hero stopped me from using my bombards. That's it. That's just I had the bombards. They were useless. Okay. Same with my army of frigates. Useless because of. Anyways, it's a game that's done, long gone, never happened.
Look forward to this Sunday.
Yeah, what's happening
This Sunday we got what do we got this
Sunday.
Sunday?
Sunday.
mystery game.
Sunday.
No,
You
I
can
wanted to
do
do
this
that.
game,
You
or
can
you
do
can
that.
trade it all in for the mystery game.
Mystery game. What's going on Sunday, Nystagmus?
So we are going to have a guest on the show, friend of the show, and creator of the Challenge League is Vector Cat joining us on Sunday, and we gave him full reign on what kind of punishment he's gonna give us. I've already been punished enough by the Scottish game, so I'm really looking forward to this Sunday.
Oh, dude, speaking of that, oh, geez, I'll get that after. I'll just go real quick.
So he's creating a game for us, and we're not gonna know anything about it until we open the game for the first time. And so he's gonna be joining us for that game. So it's gonna be very interesting, I think.
Yeah, I'm
He always
excited.
cooks up very interesting games.
He always does, and like it's funny. Like beforehand, he had like the A team and options, and like
People don't know that. People don't know that.
I know that. I know that. I know that. This is me giving the inside scoop.
Okay.
And then when he said, "How about I just do something where you guys don't know?" I was like, "Yes, please do that." That because he's always so creative.
Yeah, it was the whole mystery box meme.
Yeah,
you can do all this fancy stuff,
like
or you can trade it all in for what's inside
what's in the box. And like it was cool. The stuff he was suggesting was cool, but I like having no effing clue what we're doing. I think in general, I like with our guests, which we have more guests lined up. The guest's choice. Maybe not that it's we're gonna play on this map where everything that I start is snow and I'm Russia and the rest of you
hey. Don't
that
pick
was
on
such
foibles.
a one-sided slaughtering.
Don't pick on foibles.
I didn't say foibles.
No, but you picked the game that he picked.
Oh boy.
Don't play dumb.
Did he say about the time where you used the cultists to like blizzard everyone to death?
Yeah, Moy. Bring that up.
Hey, that was a good strategy. And you're all jealous. Okay, yes. I just hear jealousy out of all of you.
Boy's killing everyone, and he has a military strength of 20. What's going on? It's all in cultists. That's how I'm defending my cities.
Don't fight Russia in winter.
Fight Russia. You don't fight ever Russia.
Unless
Every
you're the
time
Mongols.
Russia's in the game, we lose. Okay, unless you're the Mongols, you can fight Russia. Yeah, no, I don't think even
Mongols, they invaded Russia in the wintertime. They won.
But the point is, I like our guest choice. Every game we've had so far where it's guest choice has been very interesting. So this is going to be fun. So definitely everybody, you got to tune in on Sunday for the Vector Cat special.
Can I before we end, can I talk about how the heck my Challenge League game went? My Civ6 Challenge League game?
Please do.
Jeez. Okay, this will be very quick. So I took over China, as we already knew from like the last podcast. So my game plan, I'm like, okay, I'm going to build economy, and I'm going to try my best to build my science. My science is really bad. So I was doing my thing. I didn't really know if I wanted to go culture or science. I was kind of all over the place, and I didn't know what I was doing. I realized that I was about to hit a dark age, and we were playing with dramatic ages on. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be really bad. I did not know the impact that this would make on my game. So age went, both me and China went into a dark age. He lost 1 city, I lost 5 cities, and then lost more afterwards, like 3 turns later, because of loyalty, because my cities were all scattered all over the place. And then slowly, one by one, that one flipped, and the next one flipped, and China was out, and I was left on 1 city, and even that one loyalty flipped, and I lost, and I was out. That was my game. I can't believe, there's an achievement to lose more than 4 cities at once in a dark age? That's an achievement. I have it. You know how many people have it? 0.2% of the population of Civ 6 players have this achievement. I'm one of them. Can't believe that.
So it's like an achievement. Like, congratulations,
it is an achievement.
Yeah, it's exactly it. Here, I'll pull up the name of it. Things Fall Apart. 0.2% players have this achievement. I took a picture and I'll share it. I'll share it in the Discord.
Things Fall Apart. That's awesome. That's an awesome name for an
Things.
achievement.
Things Fall Apart. I'll share it in the Discord if you're in there. In our Discord.
Do you know what that reference is?
I don't know.
It's a book called Things Fall Apart.
The center cannot hold. Things fall apart.
Sure, man. Like, listen, you guys know the references.
I'm here because an author named Achibwe.
Yeah.
This isn't helping me.
I think it's cool that I survived. I like my game's still going. Both of you, I think, died. Did you die in your second game, Nystagmus, or were you able to keep
I have
it going?
died many times. When I tried again on the second stream, I felt like I was Sideshow Bob walking around and hitting the rakes all the time. I lost 2 games, and then Moy was in the chat was just like, dude, just play on a lower difficulty, man. So I played on Immortal, and then I lost that game, and I lost that game to Dramatic Ages as well because I went to a Dark Age, and so it was fun. Like not to take away from it, I had fun. It was a certain type of fun where you have to know how to laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're able to laugh at yourself, then it's totally tons of fun.
Yeah, that's a habit of me too. Once that Dark Age hit, I just laughed. I was like, wow.
I think what everyone should do is watch Peppermint Butler's version of that game, so they see the best that you could possibly do. Then watch my version of the game, and this is like the bottom of the barrel, worst you could possibly do in the game.
Watch the different perspectives. Watch the different perspectives when it comes out. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a really good one because it's not gonna be any of us succeeding except maybe Zoe.
My game was still like I won't continue it for the next Good Morning Amenities next Tuesday. I'll probably do whatever Vector Cat's newer one is. But like I think the big crucial decision that I made that you guys didn't was where I settled my second city. And it was specifically because I wanted to build a specific wonder that I think that's what screwed you guys, not having that wonder. And that wonder is the Temple of Artemis. I think that I don't know if that's what Vector Cat did on purpose, but he only had one hex that I could see close to your capital that you could. And for Scotland, the Temple of Artemis is like a Scottish god of wonders. Like you need to get the Temple of Artemis, and I did, and it really made it that my cities were pretty much ecstatic most of the game. And when I did have my Dark Age, I lost 2 garbage cities, and it didn't affect much. And like now, I'm still going, and like I'm a contender. So I don't think I'll finish that game, unfortunately. I think I was Good Morning Amenities. I think I finished at 200, turned 200, 220 or something like that.
You finish it off stream and then just send it to me afterwards.
Maybe, sure. I don't know if there's
Peppermint Butler sub 200 science victory.
Oh my god, that was
insane,
incredible. I was like looking, I'm like, okay, so I turned 180, I was here, and you had nanotechnology and spaceships. I think you're better than me at this game.
Yeah?
A little bit.
Wow.
A little bit better.
Crazy.
Watching us play and then watching Peppermint Butler play that is like anyone who thinks like, hey man, maybe next year's Civ Give there'll be like more competition. No. I can never train. No matter how hard I train, I can never be LeBron James in basketball. Right? Like that could never happen.
He's just genetically way better than me. I can't help it.
Genetically, there's no. I think
bigger,
we have
faster.
Him on the show next. I think we should have the theme of the show. It's like the Civ Show hosts learn to not suck, and we'll all be on the same team with him, with Peppermint Butler, and we'll have like a bunch of computer players, and he's going to show us the ropes of building our cities so that they'll be a little bit more effective as the horde of computers comes at us. That's my idea.
We know that. I know that there are other like multiple members, but he was just like the one that we
the one that we saw live.
We lurked at his stream.
We watched it live. Well, it was on
last podcast.
Yeah, it was on last podcast. So, and I kept going and like looking. It's like, how is this even scientific, physically possible? How did he do this? But then I remembered Civ Give with 1200 science, while some of us had like 50 science.
Yeah, me. I know. All right, let's wrap up here. Let's wrap it up.
So anyways, thanks everybody for coming by today. Moy's going to tell you about this amazing technology called Twitter.
Oh my gosh, one, the CEO of Twitter is a weird dude. 2, the platform is okay. So if you haven't followed us on Twitter, you definitely should, because it's where you get all your updates on CivShow and Civilization, both of them in the same spot. It's crazy. And it's where we post some cool memes, and it's where we, if we have the opportunity, we're gonna roast another member of the Civilization community, because it's just so easy and so satisfying. So follow us on Twitter at TheCivShow.
Thank you, Moy. And Nystagmus, didn't you invent something called YouTube?
Oh, I didn't invent it. I know how to surf the YouTubes very well. But if you like to see
Oh.
us, especially myself, face plant on many videos while we're trying to play Civilization, definitely check us out on our YouTube channel. The place where I don't face plant is when I talk about the history part of Civilization. I talk about different leaders. Um, so you can check out that content there. And then Zoe has his reaction and raise and review videos that are really good. So check those out too. So give us a sub on YouTube and check us out there.
Very loud at 3 minutes. And Moy, while I say this last bit, why don't you find someone for us to raid?
Yeah, okay, no problem.
If you're looking for the more intimate connection,
Ooh, that was good.
join us on our Discord. It's where most of it's like the watering hole of the Civ Show community. It's where we gather to discuss many subjects from civilization to actual things going on in the world, or just to look at pet pictures. It's a great community, very engaging, very active. So join us on our Discord. It's the best way to connect with us at any given time. I will be with you guys on Tuesday morning for Good Morning Amenities. We got afternoon tea on Monday, so technically, I guess I should have gone in that order. Monday afternoons with Nystagmus, afternoon tea. Good Morning Amenities with Raising Zozo and Moy Sauce at night. We now have 5 days a week of Civ Show content for you guys. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, podcast Thursday, and of course the grand event, the Civ Show itself. Sunday evenings we'll have Vector Cat on. It's going to be a fantastic show. We hope to see you there. That's it for us for this week. Moy, where are we traveling to after the show?
Okay, we have an option. Okay. We're going to go either 1, Zam, or 2, Foibles.
Oh, Zam or Foibles?
Zam is playing Stardew Valley, and Foibles is playing Civ.
I think we got to do Foibles. I think sometime soon we'll raid Zam.
Okay.
But we talked about Foibles so much today. We should definitely go pay him a visit. I know there's a lot of Foible fans here.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
if you guys can check out Zella Zam one of these days too. We'll have him on the show. We should have him on.
We should have him on the show.
On the show, definitely.
Idea.
I think that'd be a great idea. Okay, so good night from all of us. Say good night, boys.
Good night. Have a good one. See you on Sunday.
See you Sunday, everybody.